Looks like we're having a little bit of issues here with the connection. Kacey with a great Pangoro hat. He leads it with Tyranitar and Rotom Wash.
And then we got that Gardevoir as well as the B-Sharp. And we got a levitating Gardevoir now.
Yeah. It's interesting with Trace. You can either get a really, really good thing, something like an Intimidate, or you can just kind of get one of those useless things like a Levitate, which in most situations isn't going to come in too handy.
Well, you know, Earthquake is still a useful move. I mean, a lot of Pokemon still use it. So being able to gain an immunity is still really good.
Yeah, it's pretty handy, especially for, I guess, a Pokemon that doesn't have a lot of base defense. It's a little bit frail as far as taking physical hits goes, so I guess there's some benefit to it.
I would personally take the Levitate over Sandstream.
Yeah, I would agree. There's really no benefit to Sandstream.
All right, Gardevoir is going to go ahead and Moonblast as right onto that Rotom while the B-Sharp goes ahead and protects.
Special attack? Get a special attack drop?
Yeah, special attack drop.
Volt switches on the Gardevoir?
Yep, right onto the Gardevoir because the B-Sharp protected.
And let's see what he goes into. It's kind of a weird combo, I guess. We haven't really seen Bisharp and Gardevoir as much. I mean,
I haven't seen any Gardevoir, personally.
I didn't see any all day, either one of these, but then again, I guess I wasn't.
I mean, there's a reason why they're in top 4. Obviously, they're using something that works.
Oh yeah, they both seem to, you know, they have a lot of potential. It's just nobody has really tapped it.
Yep, and that Rotom went ahead and switched out for a Garchomp.
So this gives Gardevoir a Moonblast on something, whatever it wants to Moonblast, really.
Yeah, for real. And, you know, Gardevoir is one of those Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. So can the Tyranitar. Same with a Garchomp. You know, there's so many different options for Mega Evolution right now.
It's most likely, we're almost positive that the Mawile will Mega Evolve. I know he had Tween had a Mawile, and I'm pretty sure almost every single Mawile is going to go Mega. But sometimes they carry 2 Mega Stones, and you never know with the Tyranitar and Garchomp there.
All right, he's going to bring that B-Sharp back. That Garchomp's going to really put that pressure on it.
Yeah, and Salamence to get 2 Intimidates off on 2 physical Pokemon, which excellent switch.
Not only that, but we still have the Levitate on top of the flying type, so no Earthquakes are going to really touch anything on his side of the field.
Yeah, and he gets the Moonblast. He went after Garchomp, which protected. Tyranitar Ice Beam. Did he predict the switch in? He predicted the switch
did.
In
Wow.
And
that was such good prediction right there.
Hey, it's a little bit.
I wouldn't have called that. I would not have called that.
I guess he didn't have a lot of incentive to keep it in there, but then again, he could have Iron-Headed. There's a few things he could have done, so that's
yeah, if he had Iron-Head, I mean, Tyranitar, it would have taken that pretty, taken a pretty piece of damage out of that.
Yeah.
But I think he was just really scared of that Earthquake.
Yeah. So now again, Moonblast is super effective against both Pokemon on the field, but again, he's not very physically defensive. So a Rock Slide should put him in dire straits here.
But again, with that Rock Slide, that B-Sharp is going to resist it.
Yeah. However, the Earthquake is another thing that he probably can't really do unless he protects the Tyranitar. So it's a decent situation for Stump, but he is down 4-3. He has to make some good plays here. He might have gone for the Earthquake.
T-Tar goes for that Protect.
Moonblast
right onto the Gardevoir. From the Gardevoir onto the Garchomp.
And
there it goes.
It's knocked out. So it appears he obviously didn't have Sash. He Iron-Headed the Tyranitar, so he's making the safe play and took out a Pokemon.
See, this is something that should have happened last round.
Yeah. Because if the Tyranitar would have Ice Beamed into the Bisharp, it would have been a little bit more interesting here. But he drops in Salamence, Intimidates, and that'll get a Defiant boost from Intimidates.
Yeah, that Defiant boost is going to be so great.
So it really depends on Bisharp's item, but if it's a Sash, he'll take a hit here. But if he has a life orb or something that'll boost his attack damage, he could possibly take out the Salamence. Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him to put a life orb on there and really utilize that sucker punch.
Yeah. Because you can't run Dark Gem anymore, which is unfortunate, but
Oh.
still can do a lot of damage with the life orb. Also, the Moonblast is still super effective against everything on the field, so...
You know, it's really awkward, you know, the introduction of Fairy type. You know, a lot of people, they haven't adjusted it quite to the whole new weakness structure of it.
Yeah. And it is a Scarf Salamence. This appears to be exactly what Ray ran last week, and he Fire Blasts the Gardevoir, critical hits
Critical hit!
and knocks it out. That could have been kind of a big deal. He Iron Heads the Tyranitar.
He needed
should
that.
clean it up.
Yeah, it cleaned it out.
And this is actually not such a bad situation. Depends on what's in the back. But Stump might have turned this completely in 180 right here.
Yeah, I think, you know, Stump could have done this one turn earlier and really had a much better advantage. He wouldn't have had to lose his Salamence.
Yeah. Well, this is really interesting now because the Salamence, I'm pretty sure that Stump knows that he's locked into Fire Blast because he moved first before everything else.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you just, when you're such a high caliber of a level, you know your speed tiers.
Yeah.
You know what's fast and what's not.
And I think if from what I remember, this is something to add to the situation. If Rotom does protect, but I'm pretty sure it could have taken the Hydro Pump because if he's running Ray's team, that Hydro Pump probably would not knock out a bulky Rotom Age. So
yeah, he's just going to sucker punch it. He's just going to take care of it.
Yeah, and the reason he did this is so that Rotom, which is going to take Fire Blasts after this, he went after the Bisharp.
No, he went over the V-Sharp.
Yep, because he wanted to take out that, but it's sashed.
And it's sashed, yeah. So either way, you know, it's still going to be an advantage for him.
Yeah, this is game point right here. All Stump has to do is Sucker Punch and Thunderbolt, and he should be all set. Yep, and there's the Sucker Punch.
Yep, and there's that sucker punch.
And he does not clean it up, so...
And the Fire Blast to do that 1 point of damage.
That's still a Colton style.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had any choice.
No, he didn't have anything better to do.
He had one choice, but
Yep. This is true. And a critical hit with a Thunderbolt, which...
yeah, it totally needed that critical hit.
no difference. So,
all right.
Stump takes game one.
Yeah, way to go, Alex.
I was going to say, yeah.
Togekiss?
Tojik.
Togekiss?
I'm trying to get all the pronunciations down here.
So why are we arguing about Togekiss right now?
We were on about Bisharp, and we were trying to figure out what the actual pronunciation of it, because I always called it Bisharp, and I was like, that's not right. And
No, it's like a bishop.
Yep. So
It's like a chess piece.
I have one of those the Audible Pokédexes, and it tells you exactly the pronunciation of all the names.
Like Rayquaza?
Yeah, Rayquaza, which I called Rayquaza for probably 5 years of my life.
I still call it Rayquaza. All right, so we're going into game 2 now. You know, Alex has already taken game 1, and Casey's going to have to come back and win both of these if he's going to have any chance.
Yeah, his team is obviously solid. It's won a regional already. Most of the stuff is exactly the same that Ray ran, from what we can tell. The Garchomp didn't have a sash, which probably means it has a Rocky Helmet. He might have copied Pokemon for Pokemon what Ray ran. And I wouldn't doubt it. There was a Scarf Salamence. We saw everything there.
Well, especially when you have somebody who's like Ray Rizzo. He's such a high gold 3 times. You know, he's constantly making the top. Everybody's going to want to know what wins.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna want to try to take what he does and manipulate it. And it does come down to who is the better player most of the time. And I think that's something we see. I know Kacey's had a lot of success over the years, and it's not too much of a surprise to most of the people on the West Coast that have seen him win a lot before. And he just wanted to use something consistent, and sure enough, took a team that did really well, and he's using it well himself. And for Stump though, a lot of his stuff is it's kind of one of those things where it's more mid-tier, like not as far as how good it is. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just stuff you don't see as much. And the usage stats is mid-tier stuff. You don't see Bisharp a lot, but you see some of it. Same with Gardevoir.
Same with Gardevoir, yeah. I mean, Gardevoir is so awesome in the fact that it can trace.
Yeah. That ability can be used really, really well, and I know when I Pokemon Showdown once in a while, I was running 2 Pokemon with Intimidate, and it would always trace my Intimidate, and it would drive me nuts because it doesn't. It's just a nice little turn for it where it could, it can turn the battle just like that.
And there's that B-Sharp again. This time we're going to see a Kangaskhan, though.
All right, and this is if it's the Rocky Helmet Garchomp that Ray used, if he did copy Mon for Mon, I don't think that Stump wants to fake that out.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something very different.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen what it has.
No. We know it isn't Focus Sash, but we don't know exactly what item it does have. And Bisharp can't really... He probably is going to end up either switching it out or protecting it because there isn't a whole lot to gain here with attacking with it. This Garchomp shows off its fearsome pose.
Yeah. I mean, when you have something like Garchomp, it could be Yachi, it could be Rocky Helmet, it could even be a Garchomp bite.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Today I ran into a Choice Band Garchomp, which even surprised me. And the Kangaskhan unsurprisingly Mega Evolves.
Yeah, I mean, Mega Kangaskhan is just one of those things that everybody loves to use.
He did attack right away right after the Rotom. He didn't think twice about the burn. Garchomp Dragon Claws does an Earthquake.
Yeah, so this Kangaskhan's going straight for the return. It does not want to play around with that fake out. Yep, there goes Rotom.
Clean KO, so that
was just one hit too.
Yeah, that was extremely impressive. I'm guessing that he ended up calcing this at some point in time and realized that he could Sucker Punch a return for the knockout on Rotom. Because
yeah.
You have to know that. Because if it activates Citrus Berry, if the return and Sucker Punch wouldn't have done enough damage, or if the Sucker Punch would have done more than half, it could have been really, really bad if he would have healed off the health before the second hit.
And we see the Tyranitar come out. Sandstream's going to go ahead and start up.
So Kangaskhan's probably still really scared of attacking the Garchomp.
But we saw what happened last time with that B-Sharp, right into that Tyranitar.
Yeah. It went straight in with the Iron Head and knocked it out in one shot. It did have a +1 granted, but it still could do quite a bit.
Still going to do a lot of damage regardless.
And it protects.
Yeah, it's probably seeing an Earthquake coming.
And he Rock Slid.
Oh, wow.
So I guess he's possibly going for the flinch on Kangaskhan, maybe to break the sash.
Nope.
Power Up
Punch. This is going to be great. Attack up. And the second hit.
Not
nope.
Quite.
Not quite.
He went for Fire Blast on the Bishop.
Fire Blast,
so the
and it protected.
Was to bust its sash. He was going to try to break that and try to get the clean KO on it in one turn, but Stump read that and smartly protected them.
Yeah, and this Tyranitar is in a really bad position right now. I mean, it is literally one hit from almost anything.
Yeah.
From just being dropped.
But still, what's very awkward, I guess, in Stump's place is he doesn't really know if he wants to attack that Garchomp, I'm sure, because his Kangaskhan is not in really good position as far as health goes, and maybe one Sucker Punch with the Rough Skin plus the Rocky Helmet, it's going to do quite a bit of damage.
And he's switching out. That's really weird. I mean, I would have stuck it out personally.
In this situation, I'm not quite sure. I mean, maybe he did read into the Protect, got a free switch. And he Sucker Punches the Garchomp, going all in here.
Well, it's a +2 right now,
Yep.
and
it also has Rough Skin, and we're going to find out if it has the helmet.
There's that Rough Skin.
It has the Rocky Helmet.
Yep,
so
there's the helmet.
Running the same Garchomp, and is it kind of,
and the crit on the second hit.
That could have made a difference.
That I believe it probably did.
It looked like the first one hit about 55 to 60%. So that second hit at half damage, that crit probably made a difference.
I would have made that trade-off personally. Yeah. I would have gladly made that trade-off had I known that critical hit was coming.
Yeah, even if I didn't know the critical hit was coming, that puts it in range so that Bisharp could knock it out. And I think at any point it can pick off whatever it wants right now. Except, oh wow.
Oh wow.
So
this is a thing.
So pretty much, I think as long as Overheat hits the Ferrothorn, it's going to be a win condition.
Yeah, that Tyranitar is not gonna
The
live.
Tyranitar's not taking that.
It's not gonna
sucker
do
punch.
anything.
If he can KO the Ferrothorn and sucker punch the Tyranitar, this should be pretty much game over.
Yeah.
So this is I would love this position if I were him. You're already up 1-0 and pretty much have the game in your hands. Unless we see something ridiculous, like, I don't even know if it gets this, but Ferrothorn with Hammer Arm or something. No, he goes straight for the Iron Head. He knows he outspeeds.
Yep.
Tyranitar faints.
Yep. There's T-Tar. He didn't even need the sucker punch.
And
He just went
overheat
for the Iron Head.
hits, and assuming this isn't Okaberry.
Oka? Oka?
It's not. It is a
No
Lumberry
Oka.
because he's running race.
All right. And
Alex
that's
team.
it. And we see Alex Stempe move on to the
Second
final.
year in a row.
Yeah. And he moves on to the finals.
Well, congratulations to Stempe. Good job, TweenStar, making top 4. There we go.